January is brutal. It is the hardest month to do a no spend month, and I couldn't work out why. I thought it's because January feels like a long month, but I've actually only got 4 weekends within the month for my payday, so it works out a pretty good month, technically. But it's that transition, isn't it, from December, where you're buying things for people and it feels like you're constantly going out, you're socialising and you're spending money. And when it comes to January, everybody's like hibernating. Everybody is finding it too costly to go anywhere. So they just want to stay in, they just want to chill, which is great. But I'm also getting that like itch, that boredom of just feeling like I want to buy something, want to spend something. So it's almost like a withdrawal of spending. Like I've now had to switch from scrolling on TikTok and scrolling on Vinted to reading books, because if I'm reading books, I'm still technically scrolling, because I try and do it on my phone now because it makes the text a little bit bigger, and I'd still get that dopamine hit of swiping and going through something. But it's really hard to avoid that feeling of wanting to buy. And so what date are we now? We are the 10th of January at the point of me recording this, and I have probably already spent my £60. However, I haven't bought any physical items. Yay. So I do feel like it hasn't been too bad, but I'm struggling now because I'm fully aware I've got 2 more full weeks until I get paid on the 25th, well technically the 24th. So I've got 2 weeks to get through, and I'm just like wanting to buy, and I've got no money in my Vinted balance. So unless I find something to declutter, which I might do today, I've got no way of kind of scratching that itch unless I just fill my time. So I feel like I just need to keep busy, but it's really hard when I'm not doing much. Really hard. So let me tell you what I've spent so far up until the 10th of January, and I'll tell you where I'm at. So first day, nothing. New Year's Day, didn't go anywhere, pretty chilled. The next day I bought a drink out, so technically not a physical item. I did buy something, but it was a consumable. I actually went out for 2 walks that day, walked with a friend in the morning, and they bought us a drink. And then when I went out in the afternoon with another friend, I then paid the favour forward and bought them a drink with somebody else. So that was quite nice that I didn't have to spend as much, but I paid that act forward because I just thought it was a nice thing to do. Then I didn't spend anything until Tuesday, Tuesday this week, where I've just bought tickets. What did I buy? I've written a code here and I don't know what it means. £6 LD. That might make sense to me in a minute. I'll come back to that. I bought 2 lots of tickets. A ticket to a daytime disco, because they're doing more of that, which I love. I love going out and having a dance, but I don't like the fact that most events are like starting at 8 and finishing at midnight. That is like painful for me. I'm struggling by 9:30. I need to be like zoned out at that point in the day. But I've got a daytime disco, which that's a ticket I booked for like April, so that's something to look forward to. And then I bought a ticket to a music artist that's coming somewhere locally, well, ish, but it was only like £40. So in total, I have spent £74, which is not loads. I feel like that's reasonable. £74 and no physical items. I think that was more the key for me. I'm trying to keep the number of items minimal in my home. So for me, not having a physical item, but experiences are in that. So I've got drinks out there and I've got tickets for future months. So that's quite exciting. What have I got coming up for 2 weeks? I'm going to get my diary. Oh, I've got a theatre ticket coming up. That's the only thing I've got coming up. So we're travelling to see a theatre show. So there will be buying drinks there, because you can't really take in your own stuff there, not at that venue. So there will be like probably up to £10 again spent there. But in theory, that should be around it. I've still got some leftover Christmas money, like £10 in my purse. So I may just use that. So it's kind of like not really spending anything. But that's probably about all that's coming up. I don't feel like I need any physical items, but I'm finding it really hard to not want to buy something. And because I'm reading lots of books, like I'm trying to fight the temptation of getting a reading journal. Because I always feel like I need to justify that I'm doing something by having some physical evidence. It's really hard, isn't it, to get out of that mindset. But all I've done is use the printer ink that I've already got and printed off the book cover and put it in a book that I've already got. So I've made myself a reading journal out of what I already have. And I think maybe my treat might be at the end of the month, maybe, or the end of the year, I'll make up some little mini books to represent the books I've read if I'm still reading. So that's my motivation to keep reading, isn't it? And to keep busy. Hopefully I've got more stuff coming up in February that will fill my time a little bit more. So I feel like I'll be less bored and hopefully my business will pick up a little bit more. So I'm kind of hoping that those kind of things will help with the boredom. But January is so tough. So tough. For those that don't really know what my no spend year is going to look like, the idea is that I'm trying to not spend money on physical items at all. That would be my like ultimate goal. And I really would like to save some money for a car. I've got a motivator. I really want to buy a car. And yeah, it's just going to take time, isn't it, to save that up? But having that motivation each month hopefully will just keep me going. And my rule is I can't buy new clothes. I can only buy clothes if I've sold something and I use that money to purchase the new, so that I'm not technically going out of pocket for it. So I'm not constantly buying stuff because my habit was really bad with Vinted. I was just scrolling through every single day. I would just find something new, or I'd see a new image or a new like video on Instagram or social media, and I was just getting hooked on wanting to look like somebody else. And I know that the stuff I buy doesn't always represent me and my style. I need to find it a little bit more as to what that looks like. And I always end up in jeans and a jumper. So either I need to rock a really cool jumper and a good pair of jeans, or I need to find a new like style alternative. I don't know. I used to be like really good on dresses in winter, but I just haven't done that this year. I feel very like out of myself in that sense. So I need to find my style again. So the rule is I have to sell something to be able to fund a new purchase. So hopefully that keeps me on track and keeps me reined in. So I'm not just like randomly purchasing stuff, which I have been. As far as physical items are concerned, like I don't feel as tempted to buy stuff for the home. It's more like hobbies or like crafting stuff that I'm kind of tempted with at the minute. So it's just a case of keeping on top of that, I feel. But yeah, it's a struggle, isn't it? And it's finding stuff to do that is free. Like it still ends up being like a coffee or something, which is fine. That is minimal. But it's really hard when you're trying to not spend unless people are on the same track as you. Like it's so easy to just spend money. My rules are quite, clear. I'm not to buy books apart from like my two favorite authors. If they release a book, then I will buy those because I really like their style. But otherwise, I am using my phone. I am doing library books and I'm doing audiobooks in the car. That's keeping me occupied. I feel like I'm more tempted to keep on track if I've got audiobooks in the car as well. I was getting bored of the radio, so I just fancied a change. And I'm reading book 7 and 8. I've almost finished book 7 of the year. So since the 1st of January, I've read 7 books. That's almost a book a day. Woohoo! I don't think I can keep up with that pace now I'm back at work. That might not happen. But I feel like it's a good way of keeping me busy. So if I'm not watching like a show, I can just sit and listen to a story because I do find it hard to read at the minute with the fatigue. It's hard to concentrate on the text, especially if I haven't got the daylight and we've got the dark evenings. I do struggle to read with the darker evenings. The synthetic lights are just not the same. And yeah, I should probably go to the opticians. How are you getting on with yours? Let me know in the comments below. Are you struggling like me as well? I will do another update at the end of the month to confirm how much I spend in January. So let me know how you're getting on as well. Are you on track? Did you give yourself a set amount for spend? And what were your rules on them? Let me know below. And yeah, fingers crossed we get to the end of the month soon. 'cause it's a struggle. Take care. I'll be back for more videos about decluttering, minimalism, and my no spend year soon. Bye.